Hi, my name's Steve and I'm a quality engineer in the automotive industry, and in this video I'm going to talk to you about a sustainable power source in vehicles today, the hydrogen fuel cell. Like cells and batteries, there are many different types of fuel cell. In this video I'm going to talk to you about the hydrogen fuel cell. Hydrogen fuel cells work in a similar way to batteries, except that they don't run down or need recharging. Fuel cells, rather like the cells that we know, consist of an anode, a cathode and an electrolyte. And the way they work is that hydrogen as a fuel is fed through the anode, air or oxygen is fed through the cathode, and they undergo an electrochemical process and produce electricity as well as a byproduct of water. The electricity is used to power an electric motor, and the water, the byproduct, is simply released through an exhaust pipe. Petrol and diesel cars emit greenhouse gases and carbon dioxide, which are polluting our atmosphere and damaging our environment. Sometimes they even make us cough, sneeze or wheeze. Hydrogen fuel cell cars don't have these emissions. They only emit water, which, as you know, is much more favourable and much less damaging to the environment. When petrol or diesel cars need filling up, the driver simply drives to a filling station, takes the nozzle out, fills his tank full of petrol or diesel, and it's all done in around 5 minutes or so. Now that's very similar with hydrogen fuel cell cars, as hydrogen is the fuel source. It's in a very high pressure form and it's fed into the fuel tank of the vehicle in much the same way as petrol or diesel, and takes around about the same time. The big limitation on hydrogen fuel cell powered cars at the moment is the availability of hydrogen filling stations. There are only a handful in the UK, so that deters buyers. Another limitation is that only a handful of vehicle manufacturers are producing hydrogen powered cars for us to buy. So at the moment there's very little choice and they are rather expensive. Another drawback, coincidentally, is that hydrogen fuel cell powered cars are not allowed through the Eurotunnel. Perhaps the biggest problem is the infrastructure. Even though hydrogen is the most abundant element on our planet, think about water. It's composed of hydrogen and oxygen. So hydrogen is readily available, but it's very, very difficult to extract. If we just wanted hydrogen, we have to extract it through electrolysis. And the problem with electrolysis is it needs energy to produce energy. So that's one of the big drawbacks at the moment. One fear that people have is that hydrogen is a very explosive gas. So the manufacturers of those cars do have to assure us that their fuel tanks that contain the hydrogen are very strong and very safe. One thing is certain, you don't see many of those cars around right now. try looking for the badge on the back that says either fuel cell or hydrogen. The range of a car with a hydrogen fuel cell is very similar to that of a petrol vehicle. A big difference with hydrogen fuel cell powered vehicles over petrol and diesel is that there are no harmful emissions. They only emit water, so they're very, very good for the environment. Owners of these vehicles also don't pay vehicle excise duty or road tax as we know it. Well, hydrogen fuel cell powered cars are fairly new at the moment, so in terms of their long-term reliability, we don't have that much data. However, time will tell and should prove how reliable these cars really are. Changes to the infrastructure for hydrogen filling stations are really the big drawback at the moment. We need to make more changes to our infrastructure, as there are only a handful of filling stations for hydrogen cars. Now this could take time, but bear in mind there is also a great need for a change in infrastructure to recharge battery powered vehicles, and that came and it's coming very, very quickly. The future for hydrogen powered vehicles yet remains to be seen. It's all about the take-up. What do buyers want and what are manufacturers offering? Time will tell.